The perfect identity lie that keeps you broke and burned out. You've been told to adopt a productive identity and live it perfectly. Early riser, grinder, minimalist, biohacker, creator. It feels powerful for a week, then one miss explodes into shame, overcorrection, and burnout. The lie is that a perfect identity creates success. It actually creates rigidity and relapse. In this video, you'll dismantle that lie, install a flexible identity you can restart any day, and end self-sabotage. You'll learn a 3-part solution: de-shame, detach, redesign, with a reset script that kills spirals fast. Stay for the hidden rule that causes relapses and the simple model that lets you keep high standards without breaking. 1. How the perfect identity got installed. Culture loves labels because labels sell certainty. Early riser, grinder, stoic, biohacker, creator. They're tidy shortcuts that promise control, adopt the label, inherit the discipline. At first they feel great. Predictability reduces anxiety, public labels earn approval, and a single narrative gives you coherence. You say, "This is who I am," and your brain relaxes because ambiguity is scary. Here's the sneaky mechanism. Identity promises certainty, so it becomes scaffolding for self-worth. When you think, "I am a daily runner," you're not just describing behavior, you're tying your value to never missing. That's fragile. One skip isn't a skipped run, it's a crack in the self. Certainty turns brittle when life gets messy. Let me show you the usual arc. You adopt a label. Motivation spikes. Novelty fuels perfect days. Then comes the inevitable miss: flu, travel, kid meltdown, bad sleep. Instead of a neutral data point, it becomes a verdict. Maybe I am not that person. Your system flips from motivation to protection. To protect self-worth, you either punish yourself with a marathon session or avoid the work to dodge more proof. Both moves burn consistency. The hidden cost hits before the miss. When identity is rigid, every choice gets filtered through protecting the label. You skip adaptive options, short sessions, slower pace, lower scope, because they don't count. Progress options shrink, stress rises, and your brain starts policing purity instead of designing the next helpful move. Good standards quietly turn into a moral scoreboard. Now here's where most people mess up, confusing standards with self. Standards are targets. Identity, when fused to them, becomes a verdict you must protect. Once fused, small deviations feel like threats, and attention shifts to error monitoring, not learning. You stop asking, "What would help next?" and start scanning for evidence you broke character. That's how effort becomes theater. Why do fixed labels feel safe if they backfire? Because they compress uncertainty. A single rule, never miss, feels clean. Reality is messy: illness, deadlines, travel, moods. So your brain grabs certainty, but certainty is a trap. It removes negotiation until the exact moment you need it. Then, because you trained zero flexibility, negotiation feels like failure. There's a social leash too. Labels come with instant community and imagined accountability. You post the 5 a.m. photo, people clap, algorithms reinforce. Performance becomes part of identity. When performance slips, you don't just disappoint yourself, you fear status loss. More pressure, less flexibility, more fragile behavior. The thing most people miss is identity coherence doesn't require rigidity. You can feel like the same person across days by staying aligned with values and direction, not by enforcing identical outputs. We learned identity as noun, I am X, instead of identity as verbs. I do systems that produce Y, nouns demand purity. Verbs allow variation. Variation is how you keep moving when capacity dips. Let's make it concrete. Day 1, creator pushes you to publish. By day 10, creator polices you. You stop experimenting because experiments risk bad output that could threaten the label. You cling to safe patterns and stall, or you overextend to prove you're a real and burn out. Same label, different day, opposite results. The problem isn't ambition, it's brittleness. Quick micro story. A client became a daily writer. 2 weeks flawless, then travel hit. He missed 2 days, panicked, and tried to repay with a 6-hour marathon. That nuked his energy, so he avoided writing the next day because the bar felt impossible again. What fixed it wasn't willpower. It was swapping the noun for a system and separating self-worth from the streak. He returned to small deposits and shipped weekly again. Before we move on, notice the loop. Identity promises certainty, certainty makes self-worth fragile, fragility amplifies shame, shame narrows options, narrowed options cause more misses. That's the trap. Standards are good. But when standards become self, you lose adaptability, the one skill goals actually require. Here's the unlock. Keep high standards, but detach them from your worth and attach them to systems you can scale. Identity becomes, I run roles, rules, and rituals that produce why the day goes sideways. You dial down scope, not your sense of self. You restart without penance. That's coherence without fragility. Now that you can see how the perfect identity was installed and why it fractures under real life, we can pull the fuse on shame and rebuild something flexible. Because once you stop confusing standards with self, you can keep the bar high and recover fast from misses. Next, we'll expose the shame-fueled loop that turns one slip into a spiral and show you the 5-word reset that ends it. 2. The shame-fueled performance loop. Now let's zoom into the engine that turns one slip into a spiral. Aspire, overcommit, miss, shame, overcorrect, burnout, repeat. You set a bold target, stack too many promises, life nudges you off track, and instead of adjusting scope, you punish yourself or avoid the work entirely. Short-term, punishment looks productive. Long-term, it destroys consistency. Why does punishment work for a minute? Stress chemistry. Shame spikes cortisol, narrows attention, and you can force a grindy session just to escape the feeling. That's negative reinforcement. You're not working for progress. You're working to stop pain. Your brain records the task as a threat, so next time it avoids the task to dodge the feeling. Consistency crumbles while you're convinced you're just not disciplined enough. This is productivity as penance. You miss a day, so you believe you owe 2. You break a streak, so you demand a perfect week. The ledger never balances because you're trying to cancel an emotion with effort instead of fixing system fit or capacity. The debt story grows interest and turns work into a courtroom. Here's exactly how the loop sounds in real life. Aspire, I'm a daily publisher now. Overcommit, 7 posts in 7 days plus a new workflow. Miss, day 3 derails. Shame arrives, see, you're not serious. Overcorrect, 4-hour punishment sprint. Burnout, day 4 you procrastinate because your body expects pain. Then you promise, I'll restart Monday, which restarts the loop with more pressure and less trust in yourself. Short-term results are seductive. Punishment sprints sometimes produce output, but the cost is invisible conditioning. Your nervous system pairs the work with fear. The next time you sit down, you'll clean your desk, tweak your tool stack, or scroll for inspiration. Anything beats reopening the shame tab. Quick win, name the loop out loud. Aspire, overcommit, miss, shame, overcorrect. Labeling creates a little distance. You're not the failure, you're watching a pattern. Then ask one question, what is the smallest next version that counts? If you remember nothing else from this section, remember that sentence. It moves you from punishment to design. Common mistakes to avoid. Trying to repay a miss with a marathon, keeping a secret moral tally, calling reduced scope cheating, and stacking new goals mid-spiral, new diet, new wake time, new tool, because busy feels like control. That's not discipline. That's panic wearing ambition's clothes. A micro story to make this real. Last week, a student missed 3 workouts and went straight to I blew it. We named the loop. He did a 12-minute micro session, logged it, and wrote one sentence. Reset. No story. Start small. The shame dropped. The next day, he trained 20 minutes with no drama. The difference wasn't willpower. It was removing penance. Here's the hidden rule sitting under most relapses. Breaks must be repaid with interest. Sounds fair? It's lethal. It trains you to fear any break, so when life forces one, you either quit to avoid shame or binge to catch up. Replace it with this. Breaks require resets at minimum viable scope. You restart at a tiny dose and rebuild cadence. No moral math. Why this works? You're retraining safety. Reduced scope keeps you engaged today, so identity stays attached to showing up, not to purity. Lower threat frees working memory for planning. Over time, the work feels neutral again, which is exactly what habits need to stick. Let me give you a simple protocol you can run this week. When you notice the O voice, say the 5 words, reset, no story, start small. Then execute a micro version in under 5 minutes. Log it as on the board. That phrase marks continuity. Tomorrow you can scale, but today you broke the loop. One more quick test. After a miss, measure rumination time. In the shame loop, yowl stew for hours. With a clean reset, spin down shrinks. If your rumination time is dropping, your system is healing. That's progress you can't see on the output scoreboard yet, but it's exactly what raises your average. Bottom line, you don't need harsher standards. You need safer restarts and smaller next steps. Punishment produces spikes and crashes. Design produces steady reps. In the next section, we'll look at the brain basis for why flexibility beats rigidity and how to wire your identity so misses become information, not verdicts. 3. Brain basis. Identity rigidity versus cognitive flexibility. You've felt the spiral. Here's why your brain fuels it. Under pressure, your control system flips into threat mode. Threat mode is great for survival. Detect errors fast, narrow attention, act now. It's terrible for learning and adjustment. When identity fuses with purity, misses feel dangerous, so your brain camps in that threat circuitry and treats flexibility like risk. Let me break it down simply. You've got two broad control patterns. One biases toward error monitoring and conflict detection, tight focus, short time horizon, low curiosity. The other supports exploration and set shifting, broader view, longer horizon, higher curiosity. When you moralize output, your brain flags deviations as threats, so you overactivate monitoring and underactivate updating. You get speed without wisdom. The thing most people miss is Mrs. Errant a willpower problem, they're an updating problem. When a plan collides with reality, you need to switch rules quickly. Cognitive flexibility is that switch, shifting sets, trying a smaller rule, preserving direction while changing tactics. Rigid identity locks the gear. You keep pressing the same pedal harder, even as the road changes. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Safety precedes flexibility. If a deviation threatens your worth, exploration shuts down. Lower perceived threat, and the planning network comes back online. That's why reduced scope works. Tiny versions are not laziness, they're signals of safety. They tell your nervous system, we can stay in motion without pain. Once safe, you can update the plan instead of policing purity. In practice, a flexible identity treats rules as tools. You hold a small menu of valid rules that map to different contexts. Full session counts. Microversion counts. Mobility only counts. Travel mode counts before noon. Each is pre-approved. On a tough day, you don't argue, you switch rules. The work remains familiar, your body doesn't brace, and momentum survives. Why does this reduce burnout? Threat mode burns glucose on protection, rumination, self-critique, perfectionist tinkering. Flex mode frees that fuel for design, slotting the next smallest helpful move. Less rumination means faster reentry, which compacts recovery time after a miss. Burnout isn't just volume, it's spending hours in a defended state. Flexibility lowers the tax. Two practical markers tell you which mode you're in. First, rumination time after a miss. Long spin down equals rigidity. Short spin down equals flexibility. Second, swap speed. How quickly can you choose a smaller valid rule without bargaining? Slow, emotional negotiation means threat. Fast, neutral switching means safety. Track these for a week, they're cleaner than mood. Now here's where most people mess up. They try to install flexibility on top of shame. It won't stick. Shame keeps the alarm system hot, so any reduction feels like cheating. Yowl allow a microversion but secretly judge it, which puts you back in monitoring. That's why the 5-word reset matters. Reset. No story. Start small. It cuts the moral soundtrack so the switching circuits can engage. Let me show you a tiny field test. Next time you miss, say the script out loud, then run a under 5-minute microversion. As you start, scan your body. If your chest loosens and your breath deepens, that's the threat system releasing. Notice what returns, planning clarity, curiosity, even a sense of play. That's flexibility turning back on. Log it as on the board. Identity continuity, not heroics. Another useful lever is pre-labeling modes. Make 2 toggles, standard mode and travel mode. Standard uses your usual rules. Travel preloads smaller rules, micro before noon, no 2-0 days, mobility counts. When context shifts, flip the toggle once and obey that set. You're outsourcing the decision so you don't negotiate under stress. Each clean flip is a rep for flexibility. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Identity as noun triggers purity and threat. Identity as verbs, roles, rules, rituals, maps to your brain's set shifting. Verbs are swappable. Swappable is safe. Safe brains update fast. Fast updates beat perfect plans. One micro story. A client's toddler got sick during launch week. Old self fused to grinder, so any reduction felt like failure. We pre-swapped to travel mode for 3 days. Rule became ship a scoped update by 4 p.m., micro writing at night. He shipped small, slept more, and re-expanded the next day. No spiral because the switch was legitimate, not a loophole. So the play is simple. Create safety with clean resets. Pre-approve smaller rules. Practice fast switches. Track rumination and swap speed. Do that, and your brain stops guarding a label and starts guiding a process. Next, turn that process into a model you can run daily, roles, rules, and rituals that give you coherence without brittleness. 4. The Flexible Identity Model, FIM, Overview. So if rigidity burns you out, here's the model that replaces it, the Flexible Identity Model. The core shift is simple, swap labels for processes. Instead of IMX, use I-do systems that produce Y verbs over nouns. When identity is behavior, not branding, it flexes with context while still aiming at the same outcome. You stop defending a costume and start running a process. The model runs on 3 pillars: roles, rules, rituals. Roles are temporary hats with a job to do and an end date. Rules are simple constraints that remove negotiation where you usually leak time. Rituals are tiny ignition sequences that make starting automatic. Together, they give you coherence without brittleness. You feel like the same person because your system stays consistent even when the scope changes. Start with roles. Think of a role as a season-bound assignment with a clear outcome, explicit scope, and a sunset date. Publisher Marmay, ship 1 weekly video is a role. It defines what you own, what's out, and when y'all reassess. Roles are not worth, they're a focus. The reason roles work is they prevent identity sprawl. You're not trying to be everything at once, you're wearing 1 or 2 hats that serve a single North Star. Now rules. Rules are constraints that predecide the hard parts. A good rule is binary and lives right where you negotiate. Focus blocks before inputs. Cardio before caffeine. Ship scope by Friday, quality on iteration. You can say yes or no to each rule without a debate. Here's the trick most people miss: subtract before you add. Add friction to vices first, delete home screen apps, silence pings, move the remote. Then add 1 clean rule that protects your role. Then rituals. Rituals start the first inch fast. Trigger, action, reward. They are not long routines. You want something you can do in under 60 seconds anywhere. For writing, open the outline, type 3 bullet beats, say, on the board. For training, shoes staged, timer on at the threshold, 8 minutes minimum. Rituals lower activation energy so momentum can do the heavy lifting. Let me tie this together with a simple example. Old identity. I'm a daily runner. Miss a few days, panic, punish, then avoid. FIM version. Role is mover Q2, maintain a 180-minute cardio base. Rules are movement before inputs, minimum 8 counts, no 20 days. Ritual is shoes staged, timer on at the door. Travel day, you log 8 brisk minutes in the hallway. Outcome preserved, shame avoided, identity continuity intact. For creators, it looks like this. Role, publisher Apra Jun, 1 video per week. Rules, outline Monday, ugly script Wednesday, shoot Thursday, and scope ships by Friday even if cut to 60 seconds. Ritual, open outline template, fill hook, promise 3 beats. Crisis week hits, you compress scope and still ship. You didn't betray standards, you protected cadence. Now here's where most people mess up. They treat roles like personality traits and write too many rules. Don't. Treat roles like projects, clear deliverables, owner sunset. Enforce a rule budget of 3 so you don't build a prison y'all revolt against. And keep rituals tiny and portable. If a ritual needs perfect conditions, it will vanish on bad days, the exact days you need it most. Standards stay high in FIM because you separate standards from self. The bar lives in your outcomes, your worth lives in continuity. You keep a ladder with more rungs so you can always step onto something that counts. That's how you maintain direction under stress. Here's a quick diagnostic. Can you describe your identity without nouns? Try, I practice, publish, and review on a weekly cycle, or I design systems that produce steady output. If you can't, you refuse to a label. Shift to verbs and outcomes, the brittleness fades. Implementation is straightforward. Choose one 90-day outcome. Pick 2 roles that support it. Set a rule budget of 3, subtracting friction first. Design 2 rituals that start sessions in under 60 seconds. Put a 1-page plan where you start work. Then run a 2-day test. Day 1, standard scope. Day 2, micro on purpose to teach your nervous system that small counts. A fast micro story. A founder wore the grinder label and kept snapping under family chaos. We installed FIM, Role Seller Q2, 5 quality calls weekly, rules calls before email, prep 5 minutes per contact, no 20 days, ritual open CRM, write 3 bullets dial, travel week hit. He dropped to micro prep plus 2 short calls. Ship rate held, stress fell, no shame spiral. System over slogan. If you remember nothing else about FIM, remember this sequence. Roles focus your energy, rules remove negotiation, rituals start the first inch. Build the container, then pour effort into it. Without a container, effort leaks into penance and performance. With it, you get coherence without fragility and progress that survives real life. 5 Pillar 1 Deshame, the clean restart protocol. Before we stack roles, rules, or rituals, we have to pull shame out of the system. If shame stays, every adjustment feels like cheating, and your brain wants switch out of threat mode. This isn't about pep talks. It's a mechanical reset you can run in under 5 minutes so momentum survives real life. Here's the core, 5 words that flip the circuit reset. No story, start small. That's the clean restart protocol. It kills moral math, stops overcorrection, and gets you back in motion fast. Let's break each piece so it runs when you're tired, stressed, or annoyed with yourself. Reset means the last session is over, not postponed. Over. You close the mental tab on the miss like you'd close an app. You're not salvaging a streak or repaying a debt. You're opening a fresh session today. That language matters because streak saving invites bargaining, and bargaining invites shame. No story is the guardrail. No explanations, no because, no identity verdicts, no hero fantasies about making up for it later. Stories are jet fuel for shame and penance. Silence between the miss and the next action gives your planning brain a beat to come back online. Think of it as an airlock, feelings outside, design inside. Start small sets the dose. Pick the minimum viable version a calm coach would call trivially easy on a bad day. 2 sentences, 8 minutes, 10 reps, 1 note. The point isn't intensity, it's relinking identity to showing up instead of purity. Small keeps the door open so you can scale later without pressure. Now add one more piece, the 24-hour forgiveness window. For a full day after any miss, the only allowed response is a reset at minimum scope. No doubling up, no makeup marathons, no debt repayment. This removes the hidden rule that causes most spirals. Breaks must be repaid with interest. Breaks get resets, not punishments. Let me show you how this looks in motion. You intended a 45-minute session, but a meeting ran long. Old pattern, berate yourself, promise a 2-hour makeup, then dread it and avoid the work. Clean restart flips it. You read the card, reset. No story. Start small, then run 8 minutes, log on the board, and walk. Tomorrow can be bigger. Today you protected continuity. Micro story. A client used to lose 3 days after missing 1 workout. Day 1 was shame spin. Day 2 was a brutal catch-up that wrecked recovery. Day 3 was avoidance from the pain. We installed the protocol on a sticky note at the rack. Next miss, he did a 10-minute micro session within the hour. Recovery time collapsed from 72 hours to 30 minutes. Fitness didn't improve because he suffered more, it improved because he restarted faster. Common mistakes to avoid. First, compensating with marathons. It feels righteous, it teaches your body that work equals pain. Next time you approach the task, you'll flinch. Second, keeping a secret tally. You say no story, but you quietly add debts to pay Saturday. That pressure nukes weekends and trust in your system. Third, labeling tiny resets as fake. That's the purity script talking. Small is the bridge between bad days and good ones. Implementation so it actually runs under stress. Write the 5 words on a card or lock screen. Place it where you start: laptop, door, gym bag. Pre-decide your micro versions, 2 sentences, 8 minutes, 10 reps, 1 note. Pick a trigger. The moment you notice a miss or feel that shame prick, read the card and execute the micro version within 5 minutes. log it as a full rep with the phrase on the board. You're logging continuity, not volume. A quick test you can do today. If you missed yesterday, say the script out loud right now. Then do your micro version immediately. Notice your body shift. Jaw loosens, breath deepens, planning returns. That's your nervous system leaving threat and re-entering flexibility. You just taught it that deviation doesn't equal danger. You might worry, want I coast on tiny reps? 2 answers. 1, roles and rules will set volume and cadence. We're building the floor, not the ceiling. 2, people rarely underdo good days. Most failures come from all-or-nothing collapse on bad ones. The protocol prevents collapse. Make it social-lite. Tell one trusted person you're using a 24-hour forgiveness window and the 5-word script. If you text, spiral, they reply, reset approved. You're outsourcing permission so you can't slide back into penance. What if you break the window and punish anyway? You don't owe penance for penance. You run the protocol at the next chance. Shame loves all or nothing. The protocol keeps the next smallest step available. One last nuance. Celebrate the reset, not the volume. Say on the board when you complete a micro version. That phrase cements identity continuity. Over time, that continuity builds calm confidence, the kind that doesn't need perfect conditions. Run this for 1 week. Track 2 numbers, time to reset after a miss and number of days with at least a micro version. If time to reset shrinks and micro days stack, your system is healing. That's the foundation we need before we detach self-worth from daily metrics and redesign your container with roles, rules, and rituals. 6. Pillar 2, detach. Output not equal to identity. Shame is handled. Now we unhook your self-worth from today's score. The rule is simple. Output is a report, it's not your reflection. Identity is capacity and direction, skills practiced, values honored, systems run, regardless of how messy the number looks tonight. Why this matters? When worth rides on metrics, you start managing feelings, not performance. A low output day becomes a moral crisis. You either avoid the work or spike intensity to feel worthy again. Detachment flips the frame. You're the person who invests in capacity daily, and today's count is just feedback to help you adjust. Use the 2 ledgers model. You have an output ledger, words shipped, sessions completed, revenue, reps, and an identity ledger, deposits into who you're becoming, practice minutes, ideas captured, system runs, values honored. Output fluctuates with weather, luck, and deadlines. Identity compounds with reps, reflection, and alignment. Here's the shift in language. Old script, I shipped nothing, I am not a real creator. New script, I ran my publish system for 15 minutes, captured 1 hook, reviewed my outline. Output was 0, identity deposit made. That small shift keeps you engaged when the scoreboard is quiet. Tomorrow's output rides on today's deposits. What counts as a deposit? 3 simple actions: practice, capture, reflect. Practice is a deliberate rep on a core skill, 10 focused minutes. Capture is 1 concrete idea into your vault, headline, hook, training variation, sales objection. Reflect is a 1-sentence review. What would make the next rep 10% easier? These 3 are regardless actions. You do them even on 0 output days. Lock it in with language. Write 3 identity regardless statements and say them out loud. Regardless of output, I practice for 10 minutes. Regardless of output, I capture 1 idea. Regardless of output, I close with a 60-second review. These scripts anchor behavior when metrics wobble and prevent the old purity reflex from hijacking your day. The thing most people miss is that detachment protects standards. When worth isn't on trial, you can keep the bar high without flinching. You can scrap a bad draft, cut scope to ship, ask for feedback, or pivot midweek, all without it meaning you're a fraud. That honesty accelerates iteration. Now 2 traps. First, judging deposits as too small. That's purity wearing a new outfit. A deposit's job is identity continuity, not impressing you. On low-capacity days, tiny is the highest fidelity move because it preserves the system and prevents binge bust. Second, blending ledgers. Y'all do practice and expect an instant performance spike. When it doesn't show, y'all call the deposit worthless. Keep ledgers separate on purpose. Deposits improve your average over weeks. Snapshots lie loudly. Implementation is simple. Create a 2-row tracker you can glance at in 5 seconds. Top row, identity ledger, 3 daily boxes labeled practice, capture, reflect. Bottom row, output ledger, whatever shipped. Some days you'll have zeros on output with 3 boxes checked on identity and still be on the board. That visual breaks all or nothing thinking. Tie this to your role. If your role is publisher, April, June, identity deposits might be 10 minutes of deliberate writing, 1 hook captured, 1 sentence review. Output is ship by Friday. If Friday slips, you still preserve the engine all week, which raises next Friday's odds. A quick micro story. A designer's week imploded whenever clients delayed feedback. No output, instant spiral. We installed the 2 ledgers. On delay days, she logged 15 minutes of Figma drills, 1 swipe file entry, and a 1-sentence review. 2 weeks later, stress dropped and shipped quality rose because she stayed in motion without making the delay mean anything. Want a test for tonight? Before you check metrics, tick 1 identity deposit. Practice 10 minutes, capture 1 idea, or write your 1-sentence review. Then check the dashboard. Notice the difference. Less dread, more agency. You've put identity first and let metrics be data again. Add 1 safeguard, language hygiene. Ban fused labels like real writer, true athlete, serious founder. Use verbs. I publish weekly. I train 4 days. I practice sales daily. Verbs point to actions, labels pull you toward performance theater. Another safeguard, the 80% week. Set a target of hitting identity deposits on 5 or 6 days. If output tanks but deposits hold, you had a low output week, not a bad week. That distinction prevents spirals and keeps your planning brain online. If deposits fail too, don't punish. Run the 5-word reset and do 1 deposit now. 2 practical metrics to watch alongside output. Time to start and time to reset. If you can begin within 5 minutes of your ritual and reset within an hour of a miss, identity is healthy. Those numbers predict sustainable output better than any single score. Finally, connect detachment to your rules and rituals. Your rule might be outline Monday, ugly draft Wednesday, ship Friday. Your ritual is open outline, type 3 bullets. Deposits happen regardless. Practice, capture, reflect. Output is the byproduct. When all 3 layers run, you're a resilient, identity intact on quiet days, capacity climbing, and shipping steadily. Do this for a week and you'll feel it. Less courtroom, more lab. Less proving, more practicing. Output turns into feedback. Identity turns into verbs, and you stop mortgaging tomorrow to pay off today's feelings. Next, redesign the container, roles, rules, rituals, so your environment carries half the weight. 7 Pillar 3, redesign. Roles, rules, rituals. Now we redesign your container so consistency becomes boring and reliable. Roles focus your energy, rules remove negotiation, and rituals start the first inch. Build these to run on bad days first, then let good days expand naturally. Start with roles. A role is a season-bound assignment with a clear outcome, scope, and sunset date. It answers 3 questions. What outcome am I owning? What's in and out? And when will I reassess? Publisher, Apra Jun. Ship 1 weekly video, 6,900 seconds. YouTube only is a tight role. It narrows focus, blocks identity sprawl, and gives you permission to retire or renew without drama. 2 constraints keep roles sane. 1, 2 major roles maximum at any time, a craft role and an enablement role. Craft produces the outcome, enablement protects it, recovery, research, distribution, relationships. 2, every role lives to serve 1 90-day outcome. If a role doesn't move your North Star, it's a costume. Archive it. Now rules. Rules are simple constraints placed exactly where you leak time and energy. Make them binary and observable so you can say yes or no without debate. Focus blocks before inputs. Cardio before caffeine. Outline Monday, ugly draft Wednesday, ship Friday by 4 p.m. A good rule predecides the hard part so your tired future self doesn't have to negotiate. Use a rule budget of 3. More than 3 becomes a prison you'll revolt against. If you want a 4th, replace 1 and subtract first. Add friction to vices before adding obligations. Delete home screen apps. Silence non-essential notifications. Move the TV remote to another room. Subtraction buys you space, then 1 or 2 rules guard it. Make rules context-aware with a toggle. Standard mode uses your usual constraints. Travel mode swaps in smaller constraints. Micro before noon, no 20 days, mobility counts. You're not changing identity, you're choosing the right tool for this day. One flip, less negotiation. Then rituals. Rituals are ignition sequences you can start anywhere in under 60 seconds. Trigger, action, reward fast. For writing, open outline template, type 3 bullets, say, on the board. For training, shoes staged by the door, timer on at the threshold, 8 minutes minimum, sip coffee after. Rituals lower activation energy so momentum carries the workload. Keep rituals tiny and portable. If they need perfect conditions, they'll vanish on the days you need them most. One trigger, one action, one tiny reward. That's the whole job. You can layer volume after you've started. Let me wire this together with a creator example. Role, publisher Aprajun, 1 video per week. Rules, outline Monday, script Wednesday, shoot Thursday, and ship scope by Friday, quality on iteration. Rituals, open outline, right hook, and promise. Set 25-minute timer, close tabs. Crisis week, you compress scope to a 60-180-second piece and still ship Friday. You protected cadence without inviting shame. Now a fitness example. Role, mover Q2, maintain 180 cardio minutes weekly. Rules, movement before inputs, minimum 8 counts, no 20 days. Ritual, shoes staged, timer on at the door. Travel nukes your schedule, you flip to travel mode. Micro before noon, mobility counts. You log 8 hallway minutes and a short mobility set. Identity continuity preserved. Common mistakes to avoid. Treating roles like personality traits don't. Treat them like projects with deliverables and sunset dates. Writing vague rules like work harder, that's not observable. Upgrading rituals into elaborate morning routines, those will die under stress. And role creep, adding a third big role because momentum feels good. Momentum is precious, don't split it. Implementation steps you can do today. 1. Write one 90-day outcome and pick 2 roles that serve it. 2. Set your rule budget, exactly 3 binary, placed at friction points, subtracting first. 3. Design 2 rituals you can start in under 60 seconds anywhere. 4. Print a 1-page plan and put it where you start work. Add scope ladders so you can scale without drama. Define micro, standard, and stretch for each role. Publishing. Micro is 200 words or a 60-second cut. Standard is 600,000 words or 4-8 minutes. Stretch is 1,500 plus or 10-12 minutes with visuals. Training. Micro 8 minutes, standard 30-45, stretch 60 with intervals. You live on standard. Drop to micro on bad days. Use stretch only when capacity signals are green. Score what you control. Track 3 leading indicators per role. Session starts, identity deposits, rules compliance. Let lagging metrics, views, scale weight, revenue be secondary. Leading indicators keep you motivated by actions you can repeat tomorrow. Stress test the design in 48 hours. Day 1, run standard scope at your usual procrastination time. Day 2, run micro on purpose, log on the board, and notice how quickly you can re-enter. If starting takes longer than a minute, shrink the ritual. If a rule creates dread, simplify it. If a role doesn't touch your North Star, archive it. Make it socialite so negotiation shrinks. Tell one trusted person your 2 roles and 3 rules. Ask for a weekly 60-second check-in. Did you run your rituals? No storytelling, no applause, just systems. Finally, anchor the recommit script. Same mission, smaller dose when needed. That single line keeps your identity tied to continuity, your standards tied to outcomes, and your daily actions tied to verbs. Roles focus you. Rules protect you. Rituals launch you. Build these small and portable, and your system will carry you when motivation want. 8. Workshop. Build your flexible identity in 30 minutes. Grab a timer. In the next 30 minutes, y'all build a 1-page plan you can run tomorrow. Keep everything small, binary, and runnable on a bad day. Well, move fast. Outcome, roles, rules, rituals, reset. Minute 4, set your 90-day outcome and minimum win. Ask, if I only accomplished one thing in the next 90 days that would move my life forward, what is it? Make it observable. Then define the minimum viable win, the smallest version that still counts. Say it out loud. Q2 outcome, publish 12 videos. Minimum win, 1 shippable piece each Friday, even if 60 seconds. Or, Q2 outcome, 180 weekly cardio minutes. Minimum win, 8 minutes counts. Minute 410, choose 2 roles that serve that outcome. 1 craft role, 1 enablement role. Write them with scope and sunset dates. Role 1, publisher, APRA Jun 1 weekly video, 6,900 seconds, YouTube only. Role 2, researcher, APRA Jun capture 5 notes per week tied to next scripts. Or for fitness. Role 1, mover, APRA Jun 4 sessions weekly, 8 counts. Role 2, recoverer, APRA Jun, sleep window 11/7 on weeknights. If a role doesn't move the outcome, drop it. Roles are assignments, not identity. Minute 10:16, draft your rule budget, exactly 3 binary constraints that remove your biggest negotiations. Subtract first. Ask, where do I leak time? Then place a rule there. Examples, focus blocks before inputs. Cardio before caffeine. Outline Monday, ugly script Wednesday, ship Friday by 4 p.m., phone stays outside workspace during first focus block. Make each one yes/no at a glance. If you want a 4th rule, replace 1. Simplicity keeps you compliant at 80% without resentment. Minute 16:20, create travel mode toggles. Copy your 3 rules, then write the lighter versions you'll use under stress. Micro before noon, no 20 days, mobility counts. Label this explicitly, toggle ON, travel mode. 1 flip, new set, you're choosing the right tool, not breaking character. Minute 2024, design 2 rituals that start sessions in under 60 seconds anywhere. Trigger, action, reward. For publishing, open outline template, type hook and 3 beats, say on the board. For training, shoes staged at door, timer on at threshold, minimum 8 minutes, sip coffee after. Keep them tiny and portable. If a ritual takes more than a minute to begin, you made a routine. Shrink it. Minute 24:26, build a scope ladder for each role, micro, standard, stretch. Speak it simply. Publishing, micro 6,200 seconds or 200 words, standard 4-8 minutes or 601,000 words, stretch 10-12 minutes or 1,500 plus with visuals. Training, micro 8 minutes, standard 30-45, stretch 60 with intervals. You live on standard, drop to micro on bad days, earn stretch only when capacity signals are green. Minute 26:28, set your 2 ledger tracker and leading indicators. Top row, identity ledger, practice, capture, reflect. Bottom row, output ledger, what shipped. Leading indicators, session starts, rules, compliance, time to start. Lagging metrics, views, PRs, revenue, sit on a separate line. You score what you control first. Minute 28:29, write your reset card and place it where you start. The card reads, reset, no story, start small. Beneath it, list your micro versions, 2 sentences, 8 minutes, 10 reps, 1 note. Add the 24-hour forgiveness window. After any miss, only minimum resets, no penalties. If you can, set it as your phone lock screen. Minute 29:30, assemble your 1-page plan. Top, 90-day outcome and minimum win. Middle, 2 roles with scope and sunset. Next line, 3 rules plus travel mode toggles. Then 2 rituals. Bottom, scope ladders, the 2 ledgers, leading indicators, and the reset card text. If it doesn't fit on 1 page, you wrote too much. Cut until a tired future, you can run it without thinking. Now a quick 2-day test so this jumps off paper. Tomorrow, run your start ritual at your usual procrastination time, hit standard scope, and log on the board. The next day, intentionally run the micro version and log it the same way. You're teaching your nervous system that small counts. Track time to start and time to reset after any miss. If both drop, the system is doing its job. Stress rehearsal matters. Write 3 if then relapse maps. If travel, then micro before noon. If poor sleep, then identity deposits only. If crisis, then reset. No story, start small. You're removing negotiation before you're depleted. Pair each with an environment tweak. 1-click outline, timer shortcut, shoes staged. Make it socialite. Text 1 trusted person, cue 2 roles and 3 rules, and ask for a 60-second weekly nudge. Did you run the rituals? No storytelling, no applause, just a mirror that lowers negotiation. Finally, read your plan out loud and anchor the recommit script. Same mission, smaller dose when needed. Place the page where you start, sleep on it, and run your first micro tomorrow. The goal isn't heroic volume, it's identity continuity. Start small, ship scope, review briefly, and let boring wins compound. 9 stress test, friction, relapse, and capacity. You've got your one-page plan. Now we harden it so chaos can't knock it over. First move, plan a miss on purpose. Seriously. This week, schedule one session to be micro-only and log it as a full rep. You're teaching your nervous system that small still counts, so a dip doesn't equal disaster. When your body learns, we can shrink and stay, white-knuckling fades. Next, write 3 relapse maps, simple if-then scripts for your most likely derailers. If travel, then micro before noon. If poor sleep, then identity deposits only. If crisis, then reset. No story, start small. Put these where you start: desk, bag, lock screen. The point isn't predicting everything, it's removing negotiation when you're depleted. Now let's engineer friction and glide. Glide means one-click starts for your rituals, a dock icon that opens your outline template, a phone focus mode called Ship that silences non-essentials and opens timer plus draft, shoes staged with socks inside. Friction means speed bumps for old loops. Remove social apps from the home screen, move the TV remote to another room, set your browser homepage to a blank dock. Subtract before you add. Friction beats willpower at 9 p.m. Capacity audit time. Throughput isn't just calendar space, it's sleep, steps, stress, and deep work. Write 4 numbers for the last 7 days: average sleep hours, weekly movement minutes, number of high conflict moments, and total deep work hours. That's your capacity dashboard. If sleep is under 7 or conflict is spiking, your ceiling is lower this week. That's not weakness, that's physics. You adjust scope, not identity. Anchor the one-dial rule: when life hits, turn down volume, not mission. Roles stay. Rules flip to travel mode. Rituals carry the start. Say it out loud. Same mission, smaller dose. Most people try the opposite: new mission with the same volume, and snap their identity. We're keeping identity stable and letting scope breathe. Create 10-minute microversions for each role now so you don't invent excuses later. Publisher, 2-minute outline prompt, 8 minutes of ugly sentences. Mover, 8 brisk minutes plus 2 minutes of mobility. Recoverer, 10-minute wind down, dim lights, tech off, stretch. Put these on your plan, visible. On bad days, you won't remember them, your plan will. Here's where most people mess up. They try to earn their way out of a miss with a punishment marathon, or they stack new goals mid-crisis. New diet, new wake time, new tool. That's shame wearing ambition's jacket. Your stress test is the opposite: fewer rules, smaller scope, faster resets. Continuity beats heroics. Quick micro story. A client had launch week and a sick toddler. Old pattern, all-nighters, then a full crash. We ran a capacity audit, sleep 5.5, conflict high, deep work narrow. We turned the dial down. Publisher role kept, scope shrank to a short update. Rules cut to focus before inputs and micro before noon. Rituals unchanged. He shipped small, slept better, and re-expanded the next day. Win, continuity, not spectacle. Add emotional tripwires. Note 2 tells, jaw clench, doom scroll, pair each with a reset cue. If jaw clench, then 1-minute box, breath, and read the card. If doom scroll, then phone to charger, timer on, run microversion. You're intercepting spirals in the first 60 seconds. Do a 5-minute environment audit across 3 zones: morning start, work start, night wind down. At each spot ask, what adds a step, what removes a step? Remove 1 object, add 1 trigger, relocate 1 tool. Test tomorrow. If the start still takes longer than a minute, simplify again. Pretty spaces don't win, predictable starts do. Finally, seal your stress test with a mini review after your plan missed day. Ask 3 questions. Did the microversion feel legitimate? Which friction helped most? Where did I still negotiate? Tweak 1 thing, shorten a ritual, kill a draggy rule, or add a single speed bump. Leave everything else. Overtweaking is just control anxiety in a nice outfit. Do this and chaos becomes a variable, not a verdict. Fail rehearsal reduces fear. Relapse maps remove negotiation. Friction redesigns the path. Capacity audits keep you honest. The one-dial rule protects identity. Pre-built microversions keep the promise alive. Your system can flex without cracking, which is exactly what lets steady work compound. 10. The identity inflation problem. You're rolling. A few clean weeks, outputs climbing, compliments landing, and then it happens. The win whispers, bigger, daily, world-class. That's identity inflation. Your self-image expands faster than your skills and bandwidth, and suddenly the system that worked feels too small to match who you are now. It sounds like ambition. It's usually the old rigidity sneaking back with a nicer suit. Why does success trigger this? Wins create dopamine, attention, and social proof. Your nervous system tags more as good, but more drifts from outcomes to optics, adjectives like daily, elite, hardcore. You upgrade the label before you upgrade capacity. The gap between costume and capability widens. Stress rushes in. Then the purity reflex returns. You polish, delay, and protect the bigger costume instead of shipping. The fix starts with outcome before optics. After a win, ask one question. What outcome am I protecting or expanding? Make it crisp and measurable. Improve average watch time by 10%, keep weekly ship rate, maintain 180 cardio minutes while traveling. If you can't name the outcome, don't scale the identity. Scale a metric that matters. Run the 2-signal test before any upgrade. You need a capacity signal and a consistency signal. Capacity signal: sleep is stable, stress manageable, deep work hours steady. Consistency signal: 80% rules compliance for 4 straight weeks. If either is red, you stabilize, not scale. You extend duration before intensity, and only when the lights are green. Now install the monthly identity audit, subtract labels, keep systems. Open your 1-page plan and highlight stray adjectives: daily, elite, relentless. Cross them out. Keep the roles, rules, and rituals that produce the win. If you want bigger outcomes, you'll add one rung on the scope ladder, not a new persona. Our mantra here is boring: verbs over vibes. Guardrail 3 is the subtraction sprint. Each month, remove one thing: a label, a rule, a tool, or a metric that isn't clearly pulling your North Star. If performance holds, the removal stays. Subtraction lowers pressure and surfaces which constraints actually carry weight. Most bloat is vanity disguised as leveling up. Here's where people mess up. They hire labels before constraints. They add entrepreneur, athlete, thought leader, then keep the same calendar and recovery. Identity balloons, time doesn't. Hire constraints first, outsource scheduling, editing, or logistics, the negotiation layers, so your craft reps stay intact. You're buying bandwidth, not prestige. Use a scope guard to keep cadence honest. Ship scope by Friday, quality on iteration. If you can't ship smaller, optics outran outcomes. Cut to micro or standard, ship, and let quality improve on pass 2. This keeps compounding alive when expectations creep. Micro story: a creator hit 2 viral shorts and felt the pull to go daily. We ran outcome before optics. The real goal was higher average watch time and weekly shipping. 2-signal test showed capacity was shaky, sleep down, meetings up, so no daily label. We kept the publisher role, added one constraint, assistant handles scheduling, and one metric that matters: hook retention. He shipped weekly, improved watch time, and skipped the burnout trap. Another tripwire is prestige projects that multiply negotiation. Rebrands, new platforms, fancy tools, they inflate identity without adding reps. Tools must follow rules. If a tool doesn't reduce friction for an existing rule or speed a ritual, it waits. Your system grows by repetition, not by software. Run the upgrade ladder when signals are green. You have 3 moves in order: extend duration slightly, add 1 additional standard session, then cautiously add intensity. 1 lever, 4 weeks, then review. If compliance drops or recovery lags, reverse 1 step. Scaling is reversible by design. Make inflation visible with language hygiene. Read your plan out loud. If it sounds like a brand deck, you're inflating. Replace adjectives with numbers and verbs. Publish weekly, Friday by 4 p.m., minimum 60-180 seconds. Cardio 180 minutes, 8 counts. Clean language keeps identity tied to behavior. Finally, protect the win source. After any spike, write a 1-sentence cause of success note. We shipped weekly because outline Monday, ugly draft Wednesday, and resets within 24 hours. Pin it where you start. When inflation whispers, read the sentence and run the system that earned the win. Outcome before optics. 2 signals before upgrades. Subtract labels, keep systems. That's how you grow without snapping back into the rigidity you just escaped. 11. Scaling without self-destruction. You've stabilized the system. Now we grow it without snapping it. The rule is simple: capacity first, duration before intensity. Most people pile on pressure, then call it progress. We extend the runway so speed can happen later without wreckage. Think in two lanes, a maintenance lane and a growth lane. Maintenance keeps cadence, your current roles, minimum wins, and 3 rules. Growth is one 4-week experiment with a sunset date. One lever, not 5. Why? Growth shouldn't risk the baseline that feeds it. Here's how to set it up. Maintenance. Publisher weekly, Friday by 4 p.m. Mover, 180 minutes, 8 counts. Growth. Add one 25-minute outline sprint on Tuesdays for 4 weeks, or test 2 hook formats this month. At the end, y'all decide keep, tweak, or kill. Baseline intact the whole time. Capacity checks come before upgrades. Scan 3 signals weekly: sleep average, deep work hours, and stress load. If sleep is steady, deep work is present, and rules compliance is at or above 80%, you earn an upgrade. If any signal is red, you stabilize. Scaling without bandwidth is just delayed quitting. What do you upgrade first? Duration. Add time under tension, not pain. For publishing, add 1 standard block. For training, add 10 minutes to a session or a 5th micro. Only when duration holds for 2 weeks do you add intensity, harder editing passes, tougher intervals. Duration cements the floor, intensity is a spice. Use scope ladders to climb safely. You already defined micro, standard, stretch. Scaling means spending a little more time on standard and occasionally earning stretch when signals are green. You never invent a new identity to go bigger. You just choose a higher rung you already trust. Guard your craft by outsourcing negotiation, not practice. Editing, scheduling, formatting, groceries, these are leverage points. Keep your verbs, write, sell, design, train in your hands. Bought hours protect reps, not ego. If a hire doesn't reduce friction for an existing rule or speed, a ritual wait. Scoreboards matter here. Track leading indicators: session starts, rules compliance, and time to start. Let lagging ones, views, PRs, revenue, ride shotgun. Leading indicators predict whether growth sticks. Lagging ones will swing and tempt you into theatrics. Now here's where most people mess up: chasing novelty when boredom arrives. Novelty looks like momentum. It often murders compounding. Solve boredom with rotation, not reinvention. Rotate formats or focuses on a simple cycle: essay, video, thread, or strength, cardio, mobility. Rotation keeps the brain engaged without resetting systems. Run a weekly fuel check. Ask 3 blunt questions. Did sleep dip below 7 hours more than twice? Did deep work fall under your minimum? Did stress spikes increase? If yes, turn the dial down, shorten 1 session, drop to micro twice, kill 1 low-yield commitment. It's easier to protect the base than to rebuild it. Install a scale-up ladder that's reversible. Step 1, extend duration slightly. Step 2, add 1 more standard block. Step 3, add intensity to 1 block. If compliance drops or recovery lags, step back 1 rung immediately. Growth is an option, not a commandment. Beware role creep when momentum feels good. Use the 2-role cap ruthlessly. New ideas go to a dated backlog. If they still matter after 2 weekly reviews, consider swapping a role, not stacking a third. Momentum is precious, don't split it. Use a constraint-first upgrade. Before you increase scope, add 1 constraint that buys bandwidth. Calendar the growth block, prescript the ritual, set a focus mode, or delegate scheduling. You don't scale with vibes, you scale with guardrails. A micro story. A creator hit 8 straight weekly ships and wanted a podcast, a newsletter revamp, and a course now. We built lanes: maintenance, weekly video. Growth, trial a 30-minute interview format for 4 weeks. We outsourced booking and editing, negotiation layers, not craft. Leading indicators were guests scheduled and recordings completed. Signals stayed green, so we extended duration, kept interviews, skipped the extra newsletter. Output rose, stress didn't. Recovery is capacity. Pre-commit 1 recovery rule in growth phases: 1 full rest day, lights dimmed at 10, or no 2 late nights. Put it on the scoreboard. When recovery slips, growth fake succeeds until it fails all at once. Finally, anchor the mantra. Same mission, longer runway. Extend duration, then add a block, then sprinkle intensity. 1 experiment at a time. Hire constraints that buy reps. Score what you control. Rotate to manage boredom. Protect recovery like a deliverable. Do that, and y'all scale output while your identity stays light and your system stays calm. Social and environmental design. You've built lanes and ladders, now make your world do half the work. Start simple, pick one trusted partner. State your 2 roles and 3 rules in plain English, publisher weekly. Mover 4 sessions. Rules, focus before inputs, minimum 8 counts, ship Friday. Ask for a 60-second weekly ping. Did you run your rituals? That tiny mirror kills negotiation without turning into performative accountability. Next, redesign your space with 2 moves. Glide to the work, friction to the drift. Glide means one-click starts. Put an outline template on your dock that opens blank with a cursor at hook. Create a phone focus mode called Ship that silences non-essentials, launches timer plus notes, and hides social apps. Stage shoes at the door with socks inside. Friction means speed bumps for old loops. Remove social apps from your home screen, move the TV remote to another room, set your browser to open a blank dock instead of news. Subtract first, then add. Friction beats willpower at 9 p.m. Create identity-safe zones, places or windows where small counts and mistakes are boring. Maybe it's a desk lamp rule. Lamp on means an 8-minute micro session. Interruptions pause until the lamp goes off. Or a coffee shop corner where only outlines happen. Put a small sign or wallpaper that reads on the board perfect. You're telling your nervous system this space is a lab, not a courtroom. Manage inputs like you manage reps. Cap aspirational content so it doesn't inflate labels. Use a rule, 1 problem-driven how-to, then 5 minutes applying it before you scroll again. Replace highlight reels with technique breakdowns and examples you can copy this week. Inputs should lower activation energy, not raise your standards until you freeze. Add social scaffolding that synchronizes starts. Do 25-minute virtual co-working sprints with a friend. At minute 0, each person says their micro version out loud, runs their start ritual, cameras on, mics off. At minute 25, report only on the board or not yet. You're not comparing output, you're syncing ignition. Give your household clear signals. Declare rituals, not ambitions. Headphones on means an 8-minute block. Lamp on equals no talk window. Offer a trade, ask for 8 protected minutes and give 8 back later. Tiny, predictable boundaries protect dozens of starts per month with almost no conflict. Design a one-tap focus scene. On desktop, a shortcut that closes messaging, opens your outline, and starts a 25-minute timer. On phone, the ship focus you set earlier. Rule: when hesitation hits, tap the scene instead of thinking. You're letting environment make the decision your tired brain would negotiate. Recovery gets the same treatment. Stage your wind down, dim lights at a set time, put a paperback on the pillow, tea within reach, tech charger outside the bedroom. A rested system is capacity. Put recovery cues where your evening actually starts. The kitchen, not your aspirational nightstand. Now here's where most people mess up. They build inspirational but high-friction spaces, vision boards, perfect lighting, 12-step mornings. Pretty isn't the goal. Predictable is. If you can't start in under 60 seconds, you built a museum, not a lab. Strip it back until a grumpy future, you can run it without thinking. Run a 5-minute environment audit across 3 zones: morning start, work start, night wind down. In each zone, ask 2 questions. What removes a step? What adds a step? Remove 1 object, add 1 trigger, relocate 1 tool. Test tomorrow. If the start still takes longer than a minute, simplify again. Small tweaks daily. Tighten inputs with a weekly quota. For creators, 3 technique pieces, 1 case study, 0 routine porn. For movers, 1 programming tip, 1 form video, 1 recovery note. Anything else goes to a later folder reviewed during your weekly identity review, not during start time. Build a tiny systems circle, 3 to 5 people, 15 minutes weekly, fixed script, roles, rules, rituals, keep, kill, tweak. No brand talk, no venting. You're normalizing de-shame, detachment, and redesign together. Social proof cements verbs over labels. Finally, codify travel mode in your environment. Pack a micro kit, resistance band, jump rope, index card with your reset script and micro routines. Save a hotel hallway workout in your notes. Bookmark a browser start page that opens your outline regardless of device. When context shifts, your tools don't. Do this and your world becomes an ally. Social cues shrink negotiation. Environments cut the first inch to 1 tap. Inputs feed skills, not costumes. Recovery is staged, not wished for. The result is fewer decisions, faster starts, and a nervous system that expects motion, even on messy days. 13. The weekly identity review. This is the 5-minute ritual that keeps everything aligned without turning your week into a spreadsheet. Same day, same time. Timer on, decisions only, no essays. Start with 3 fast questions in this order. What worked? Name exact behaviors that pulled weight. Outline Monday reduced friction. Shoes staged gave me 5 starts. Travel mode saved Tuesday. What felt heavy? Call friction honestly. Evening drafts collided with family. Phone near desk pulled me off outline. 4th rule felt like policing. What changed? Scan capacity signals, sleep, stress, deep work, travel. Context explains weird weeks more than character ever does. Now run, keep, kill, or tweak across roles, rules, rituals. Roles are simple this week. Renew as is or flag for end-of-month review. No midweek mission swaps. If a role repeatedly gets squeezed, note it and decide at month's end whether to replace it. For rules, 3 options. Keep the ones carrying weight. Kill a high-friction, low-yield rule. Tweak any fuzzy rule into a binary version. Focus before inputs becomes timer on before opening email. Rituals get the same treatment. Keep starts that happen in under 60 seconds. Kill anything that bloated into a routine. Tweak triggers to be louder, move shoes to the threshold, pin the outline template to your doc, add a one-tap focus mode. Anchor the recommit script out loud. Same mission, smarter rules. It signals continuity with adjustment, which keeps shame quiet and flexibility active. Make the review data light. 5 metrics max, trends not drama, weekly ship rate, session starts, rules compliance percentage, average sleep, and time to start. If ship rate dips but start stay high, scope is off, not motivation. If sleep tanks and compliance drops, capacity is the culprit. Adjust the dial, not the identity. Use the 80% target. If rules compliance is at or above 80%, you're on track, keep, or gently raise a rung. If it's below, don't add pressure, subtract friction. Kill 1 rule, shrink 1 scope, or shorten a ritual. Ask the golden question: what would make the next rep 10% easier? Drop in micro stories from your week as signals. If you earned a reset with a punishment session, that's a stealth penance rule, kill it now. If your start took longer than a minute because you arranged your desk, shrink the ritual to 1 trigger, 1 action. If travel nuked your cadence, write a labeled toggle for next time. Travel mode on equals, micro before noon, no 20 days, mobility counts. End each review with a 1-sentence identity, outcome link. I publish weekly by outlining Monday, ugly drafting Wednesday, and resetting within 24 hours. Or, I maintain 180 cardio minutes by moving before inputs, counting 8, and avoiding 20 days. This sentence trains your brain that verbs drive results and resets protect cadence. Plan tomorrow's first inch. Block your start ritual at your usual procrastination time. Preload the 1-click start, doc icon to outline or the ship focus scene. Reduce thinking to a tap. Make it social light if helpful. Send a 1-line update to your partner. Keep, focus before inputs. Kill, evening drafts. Tweak, timer shortcut on doc. Compliance 76%, lowering scope this week. You're not asking for applause, just reflecting decisions. Common mistakes to avoid. Turning review into self-therapy, keep it operational. Adding rules when you feel behind, subtract friction and drop to micro twice instead. Moving the review day, if it floats, it dies. Over-tweaking, change 1 thing per week, not 5. Treating metrics like verdicts, they're dashboards, not judges. Run an ultra-quick fail rehearsal in the review. Ask, where will I likely miss this week? Write 1 if, then. If late meeting Wednesday, then micro script after dinner. Put it on your plan. You've removed negotiation ahead of depletion. Close with a 60-second environment check. 1 object to remove, 1 trigger to add, 1 tool to relocate for morning, work start, or wind down. Predictable beats pretty. If a start still takes longer than a minute tomorrow, simplify again. That's it, 5 minutes. Worked heavy changed, keep, kill, tweak. Same mission, smarter rules, block the first inch. 1 click ready. You leave with tomorrow's start locked, your standards intact, and your identity light enough to adapt all week. 14. Long-term identity stacking. You've got weekly rhythm. Now we zoom out so your identity stays flexible while skills compound. The principle is simple: seasons over years, verbs over labels. You stack capabilities, not costumes. Each season upgrades a system a notch, then you archive the win and move on. Work in 90-120-day seasons. Every season, pick one North Star outcome, 2 roles max, and a lean set of rules and rituals. At the end, you don't crown yourself with a new persona. You archive the role with a win log and start the next season fresh. This preserves momentum without calcifying identity. Stack roles sequentially. Keep a 2-role portfolio. 1 craft role that produces the outcome: write, sell, design, train, and 1 enablement role that protects it: recover, research, distribute, build relationships. Over years, it might look like Season 1, publisher plus researcher. Season 2, publisher plus seller. Season 3, publisher plus teacher. You're rotating complementary verbs around the same outcome. Skill breadth grows, identity stays light. Use an archive ritual to keep compounding visible. At season's end, capture 3 lines: outcome hit or missed, the rule or ritual that pulled the most weight, and 1 thing to keep, kill, or clone. Save 1 artifact per role, a template, checklist, or microscript that you can replant later. Artifacts are boring assets that make the next season faster to spin up. Build seasonal choice architecture. Create 2 one-tap checklists. Season start loads your default rules and rituals, pins your outline template, and restages your environment. Season shutdown archives metrics, cleans tools, and resets your cues. Changing seasons becomes flipping a switch, not reinventing yourself. Refresh the North Star while identity stays flexible. Life will change: new job, new baby, new market. You start each season with 2 questions. What outcome matters now? What's the minimum viable win that respects my current capacity? Then you rebuild roles, rules, and rituals to match. Same engine, new destination. Watch for long-range drift. If a season repeatedly ends with "felt heavy," it's not character, it's misfit. Either the role conflicts with your values or the rules fight your constraints. Fix it at the seasonal boundary. Retire the role with a win log and pick a better fit pair. Don't carry a label because it sounds impressive. Use seasonal constraints to sharpen mastery. Try a depth season, no new platforms, just better hooks. Or a scope ladder season, micro, standard, stretch only, no inventing new formats. Constraints concentrate reps and accelerate learning. Make compounding tangible with 3 seasonal totals: sessions started, micro versions logged, and shipped artifacts. These totals show consistency across seasons. When they rise, confidence becomes earned, not declared. You build identity evidence you can trust on bad days. Plan maintenance seasons for big life shifts. If capacity drops, move, newborn, illness, shrink outcomes to minimum wins, limit to 1 craft role plus a recoverer, cut rules to 2, and shrink rituals even smaller. You protect continuity so the identity bridge doesn't collapse. When bandwidth returns, you dial up 1 rung at a time. Run a seasonal review in 20 minutes. Start with worked, heavy, changed. Then keep, kill, or clone 1 element per pillar. 1 role decision, 1 rule edit, 1 ritual tweak. Check signals: sleep, deep work, compliance. If green, extend duration slightly next season. If yellow or red, stabilize. End by writing a 1-sentence identity outcome link for the next 90 days. I publish weekly by outlining Monday, ugly drafting Wednesday, and resetting within 24 hours. Put it where you start. Guard against identity inflation at the season turn. Before expanding scope, pass the 2-signal test: capacity steady, consistency at 80% for 4 weeks. If both are green, add duration first, then 1 more standard block, and only later add intensity. Scale reversibly. If compliance dips or recovery slips, step back 1 rung immediately. Keep language clean across years. Replace adjectives with verbs and numbers. Publish weekly, Friday by 4 p.m., minimum 60-180 seconds. Cardio 180 minutes, 8 counts. Clean language prevents performative creep and keeps identity tied to behavior. A quick micro story. Over 2 years, a client cycled publisher plus researcher, then publisher plus seller, then publisher plus teacher. Each season, he archived 1 asset, outline beats, sales call checklist, lesson plan, scaffold. By year 2, new projects spun up in days, not weeks. No new labels, just reusable verbs and scaffolds. Finally, adopt a decade-friendly mindset. Repeat these lines each season. Identity is a tool, not a trophy. Confidence is earned with reps, not labels. Short game is today's deposits. Long game is seasonal wins. Finish ugly, improve on iteration. When in doubt, reduce scope, keep the promise. Do that for a few years and the payoff is simple. Deeper skills, steadier output, lighter identity, and the freedom to restart any day. 15. Rapid fixes for common traps. Missed a week? Run a reset day. Read the card, do only micro versions, 1-minute review, sleep. No makeups, no debt. Too many roles? Enforce 2 roles, 3 rules. Everything else to a dated backlog. If it still matters in 30 days, swap, don't stack. Motivation dead. Trigger a 10-minute micro plus a social ping. Text spiral, get reset approved, start timer. Shame spiral, say the 5 words, take a 5-minute walk, make 1 identity deposit. Courtroom off, lab on. Over-optimization, subtract 1 rule, 1 tool, 1 metric for 7 days. If performance holds, the removal stays. Travel or chaos, toggle travel mode. Micro before noon, no 20 days, mobility counts. Log on the board. Scope creep today, read ship scope by Friday, quality on iteration. Drop to micro or standard ship. Night doom scrolling, phone to charger, lights dim, tea out, paperback on pillow. Recovery is capacity. Stalled start, 1 tap focus scene. Close tabs, open outline, start 25-minute timer. Begin within 60 seconds. 16. Mindset upgrades that stick. Let's lock in the mindset that keeps your system light and durable. Start here. Identity is a tool, not a trophy. Trophies make you protective and rigid. Tools get swapped when the job changes. When you treat identity like a tool, you can refit it without drama and keep moving even when life tilts. Next, earn confidence with reps, not labels. Labels are loud, reps are reliable. Tie confidence to the smallest verb you control. Outline, 8 minutes, 1 note, 1 review. When your brain sees proof on quiet days, it stops demanding perfect days to feel legitimate. That's how you build trust you can use under stress. Short game versus long game. Short game is today's identity deposits. Practice, capture, reflect. Long game is seasonal wins, ship rate, total minutes, artifacts accumulated. Don't drag long game emotions into short game decisions. Put your feelings on the deposit you can do in 10 minutes. Let the long game show up in your weekly and seasonal reviews. Adopt finish ugly as default. Ugly finishes teach your nervous system that shipping is safe. Beauty lives in iteration. If you feel the polish urge, root it into a later pass with a rule, quality on iteration. Y'all protect cadence and still improve quality, just in the right order. When in doubt, reduce scope, keep the promise. If you can't hit standard today, drop to micro and ship. You kept continuity. The system learns you're a dependable, not dramatic. That consistency beats any single heroic burst. Now the thing most people miss, belief follows evidence. You don't affirm your way into new behavior. You collect evidence. Did I start? Did I deposit? Did I reset without a story? That's the only narrative that sticks. Your script becomes simple. I start quickly. I reset fast. I keep the promise small. Separate identity from aesthetics. The vibe, gear, desk, shoes can be fun, but it isn't the identity. The identity is verbs you repeat. Keep the vibe only when it helps you start in under 60 seconds. If it slows the start, it's theater. Tools serve rules, they never define you. Use mantras that move your body, not just your mood. On the board. Same mission, smaller dose. Reset, no story, start small. Say them out loud. These are interrupt scripts for your nervous system. They create the inch of space you need to act instead of ruminate. Make peace with boring. Boring is what compounding feels like. If you crave novelty, use rotation, not reinvention. Rotate formats or focuses inside the same system. Rotation scratches the itch without resetting your rules. Let results lag. Lead with controllables, starts, minutes, drafts, resets. Let lagging metrics, views, revenue, PRs, arrive when they're ready. When self-respect is tied to controllables, you stay calm enough to adapt, which ironically improves the lagging metrics faster. Anchor 2 quick checks you can use anytime. Check 1, time to start. If it's over a minute, shrink the ritual. Check 2, time to reset. If it's over an hour, read the card and do a micro version now. These 2 times will predict your momentum better than any motivational quote. Build identity humility. Your system survives because you can be wrong fast without self-judgment. Misses become information. Given this, what's the smallest next move that counts? That question keeps your planning brain online and trains flexibility on contact. Tie identity to values, not purity. Values like stewardship, service, curiosity, craft, these can be honored at any scope. You can honor stewardship with 8 minutes, not just with an hour. You can honor craft with an ugly draft, not just a perfect essay. Values give you coherence, verbs give you motion. Install permission to be new whenever you change seasons or contexts. New context, new rungs. Say, same mission, beginner dose, and pick micro by default for the first week. You'll ramp faster because your brain isn't busy defending a reputation it can't uphold yet. Finally, normalize friction. Friction isn't failure, it's a design brief. When something feels heavy, you don't question your character. You adjust a rule, shrink a ritual, or move a tool. Every tweak is evidence that identity is a tool in your hand, not a costume you have to wear perfectly. Do this and your mindset stops arguing with reality. Identity stays light. Systems stay simple. Misses turn into resets. Wins don't inflate into costumes. You'll feel the difference. Less courtroom, more lab, steady, boring, effective. That's exactly what makes the next season easier than the last. Key takeaway and next steps. Here's the takeaway. Rigid labels fuse your worth to outcomes and trigger shame. Flexible identity turns outcomes into simple systems you can restart any day. Your next step, run your 1-page plan this week. 2 roles, 3 rules, 2 rituals, plus the reset card, and lock a 5-minute weekly identity review on your calendar. Subscribe for the advanced ritual tweaks and watch the dopamine debt video next to boost momentum instantly.